All right, for today's explainer, we're diving into something pretty cool. It's a tool that can take a super confusing spreadsheet and turn it into a clear, compelling story. We're talking about Google Charts.
You know that feeling, right? You're staring at this wall of numbers in a spreadsheet and your eyes just glaze over. It feels totally impossible, kind of like trying to find one specific sentence in a book that's written in code. So the real question is, how do you unlock the story that's hiding inside all that data? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. You have to make the data visible. I mean, think about it. Our brains are wired for pictures, for visuals, not for endless rows of numbers. So when you take those abstract figures and turn them into a shape, a line, a bar, a piece of a pie chart, suddenly everything clicks. The patterns just pop. The insights literally jump right off the page. You're basically giving your data a voice.
And one of the absolute best tools for doing just that, one that's powerful and super accessible, is Google Charts. So let's get into it. What is this thing?
Okay, so in a nutshell, Google Charts is a free service that lets you build these amazing interactive charts for your website or whatever project you're working on. It uses all this modern web tech, HTML5 and SVG. And look, that's just a fancy way of saying your charts are going to work instantly on any browser, on any phone. No plugins, no downloads, zero hassle. It just works.
And this is not some new fly-by-night tool that might disappear tomorrow. No way. This thing has been around since 2007, and it's constantly getting better, with big updates still rolling out. That kind of history means it's super stable, it's reliable, and you can count on it being around for a long time.
So why is Google Charts so popular? What's the big deal? Well, it really boils down to three key things. It's incredibly powerful, it's way simpler to use than you think, and get this, it's totally free.
And once you peek under the hood at the features, it all makes sense. First off, you've got this huge gallery of charts to pick from. Anything from simple scatter plots to really complex stuff like tree maps. You can tweak and customize them to perfectly match your brand's look and feel. And yeah, it uses that modern tech that we talked about, so it just works everywhere. But honestly, the real killer feature is that you can connect it to live data. That means your charts update automatically in real time. How cool is that? And here's the kicker. This isn't some forgotten side project sitting in a dusty corner at Google. No, on their own developer page, they say that these are the exact same chart tools that Google themselves use for their own products. So they're literally giving away their professional-grade tools for free. That's pretty amazing.
Now, to really appreciate why this is such a big deal, you got to remember the old way of doing things, right? Remember those websites that would pop up and say, you need to install Flash to view this content? It was always so clunky. Those plugins were slow, they were a security nightmare, and they almost never worked on your phone. This modern approach, using HTML5 and SVG, just blows that out of the water. It means the charts are fast, they're secure, and they look great absolutely everywhere, from a huge desktop monitor to your tiny phone screen.
Okay, so the tech sounds impressive, the features are great, but let's get practical. Where is this tool actually being used out in the real world? How's it making a real impact?
Well, one really fascinating example comes from, of all places, the world of medicine. It turns out medical schools are actually using Google Charts to teach data science. It gives their students this really hands-on way to visualize and, more importantly, to truly understand all that complex patient data they have to deal with. And the results are just huge. I mean, the moment students can actually see the data instead of just reading it, their understanding just skyrockets. What was once a confusing table of numbers suddenly transforms into a clear, understandable trend. And that is an absolutely critical skill for any doctor to have. And it's not just in the classroom. Professionals are using it too. For instance, it's being used to build real-time dashboards for monitoring live data in critical fields like healthcare and academic research. So just picture that for a second. It means a researcher can literally watch their experiment results come in as they happen. Or a hospital administrator can keep an eye on patient flow throughout the entire day, moment by moment. That ability to connect to live data is what makes these dashboards so incredibly powerful for making smart decisions on the fly.
So we've looked at the tech, we've seen some pretty cool real-world examples. What's the big takeaway here? How can you start thinking about using this for yourself?
Really, it all comes down to a super simple three-step process. First, you connect your data, wherever it lives. Second, you pick a chart from that huge gallery and you make it your own. You customize it. And finally, step 3, you communicate. You use that visual to finally tell the story that was trapped inside your numbers all along.
So, whether it's for a school project, a business report, or just your own curiosity, just remember, your data has a story. So the real question is, what story is your data waiting to tell?